Today we're having a look at the Rebor Sarcosuchus. This version that we have here in front of us today is the river version. So there are two variants of this Sarcosuchus that Rebor do sell. The other version that Rebor do is a lake variant, which is a blue colour rather than the muddy brown colour we have here. With the Sarcosuchus, we do have this accessory piece, which is a drowned Nigosaurus, and it does have some great details on there. The bite marks look very gory and realistic, and the little model here does have a gloss finish on it, which does make it look like a animal that's been in the water or is still in the water. A very cool addition. We'll have a closer look at the Sarcosuchus now. Here we have the Sarcosuchus. We'll take a closer look at the head here, and as you can see, the snout is very long and narrow, similar to what you see in modern day like gharials, things like that, which have these very long thin snouts, usually designed for catching fish. And we do have articulation in the jaw similar to the Dinosuchus, so the top portion does move up and down. And we can see the snout here is very large and bulbous, similar to the Dinosuchus as well. The teeth are done very nicely on this model. Again, Rebor with the translucent plastic on the teeth here, which do make it look very cool and realistic. We do have lovely amounts of detail inside the mouth as well. You can see the tongue back there. Do have some gloss inside the mouth, which makes it look very realistic. And the eye is done in a red colour with black pupil. I really like the coloration on the body of this Sarcosuchus. Now, the coloration does resemble an animal that is alive today, which is the Tomistoma. It's a crocodilian that lives in freshwater, but similar sort of design, which has a long snout like the Sarcosuchus. And I like that this paint scheme does resemble an animal that is alive today. I find that very cool. As we go down from the head to the neck of the Sarcosuchus, you do have bit more bulk there, which of course will support the strong muscles in the animal. And you do have fine scaling here across the body, some larger scales and some smaller scales throughout. You can see across the back here you do have this sort of armour plating, and that runs all the way down to about halfway to the tail. Then you've got these raised up scales there. And looking at the arms, you do have these little scales that jut out through the side here. You can see a bit of webbing between the digits. You do have some big scales underneath. And similar to the Dinosuchus, the tail does have bendy wire in there. You see that webbing again on the back feet, as well as these scales that poke out through the sides. And here we have Sarcosuchus with its prey caught in its mouth here. That does look very cool. And again, to display it, just line up the bite marks as best you can with the teeth there of the Sarcosuchus. Now if you want to know how much this model weighs, I do have my scale here. And with its prey in its mouth, the Sarcosuchus comes in at 606 grams. Slightly lighter than the Dinosuchus. And for a comparison here, I do have the Dinosuchus and Sarcosuchus next to each other. And the Dinosuchus does look a little bit longer, but I believe they should be about the same sort of length. Overall, I do think this is another really great model by Rebor. I love their crocodilians, or technically in this case a crocodilomorph. I love their models of these animals. I think they're very well detailed, and I really love the coloration on this Sarcosuchus, and the fact that it is coloured after an animal that is alive today, which is the Tomistoma, also known as the false gharial. I really like that fact that you can see this sort of colour scheme in an animal that we do have alive today, and I like that they use references like that for their paintwork and colour schemes for their models. Just makes it feel a lot more realistic. And I can imagine the diet of the Sarcosuchus was very similar to that of the false gharials, which are very opportunistic hunters. I think that's the same for most crocodilians. Crocodilomorphs are very opportunistic. They can grab something and kill it, they will. And I can imagine Sarcosuchus going after dinosaurs, as we've got a small Nigersaurus here in its jaws. I can imagine it going for much larger prey also. But overall, in general, I think this is a very nice model, and one that I definitely do recommend. I hope we get more crocodilians and crocodilomorphs from Rebor. I would really love to see more of these, maybe a Porosaurus in the future, but we'll have to wait and see.